edition of Take 5 for Prairie. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about some exciting new developments in our district, new facilities and new spaces for our students. A lot's going on in that space in terms of bringing great spaces for students to learn and teachers to teach. Today joining me is Vicki Hyland from OPN Architects and Angie Morrison, CFO of College Community Schools. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the exciting new things that people may not know about. As many people know, we're opening a new 5-6 building this next fall. And when our 5th and 6th graders move to that building, the current Creek building will undergo a year of renovation, opening in fall of 24 to welcome 9th graders again to the high school campus for the first time in a number of years. So Vicki, if you would tell us, this new 9th grade center, as we renovate the current Creek, what are some highlights of that project?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. I am super excited about this project. That building has lived through a lot of different lives, right? It was a junior high, and then it became a 5-6 center, and now it's going to be reinvented and repurposed as a 9th grade center and an alternative high school. So really exciting that you can take that building. It's got a lot of the bones that go into 9th grade programming, like chem labs and science labs and some spaces for CTE programming. You get to do that, but you're also going to take this population of kids, those 9th graders, and sometimes they're a hard fit. There's a fear of going with those older high school kids, those 10th through 12th graders, but they're a little old and mature for the younger 7th and 8th graders. So often districts see this, what do we do with these 9th graders? And because of the long-range planning that Prairie has done over the years, they've really folded into a plan that's going to be really beneficial for that group of kids. They're going to have exposure through a viaduct in the new cafeteria to the high school, so they can have programming opportunities that way. But in the 9th grade itself, you're going to have the ability to customize spaces and rooms and collaboration zones for those 9th graders to really start to flourish and start to have their own agency in learning. So I'm excited about that. Equally, I'm excited that there's going to be a place and a home for the alternative learning, the alternative high school. I think those kids also are kids. It's much different. When I was young, alternative high school meant something completely different than what it does now. And it's a lot about choice, and it's a lot about just how you fit in. And we know from research that it's important to have facilities support who you are and where you are. And so I think having this separate alternative learning space with their own entrance, their own identity, the ability to have access to some of the things that the campus offers is going to just be a boon for that group of kids as well.
Yeah, and you had mentioned also bringing the 9th graders up onto the campus. But one of the things that people may not be thinking about is this allows us to expand opportunities for 9th graders. When 9th graders are so far away, even though we're on one campus, we have to do a lot of doubling of programming. So we can eliminate some redundant programming, offer more opportunities even for our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders as well. So we're really excited about that. And also with this project, we are planning to renovate the industrial technologies rooms at the high school as well. Angie, talk about some of those renovations and what the timeline for that is.
Yeah, so when the high school was renovated a few years ago, the CTE area wasn't renovated at that time. So we felt it was really important to bring those spaces up to a more current atmosphere. So we're just going to be refreshing those, adding some more storage for them, and making it a more adaptive learning environment for those programs.
Yeah, and I mentioned sharing programming, so 9th graders will actually come and experience those CTE spaces as well. So it's really going to be kind of that, the 9th graders are going to spend a lot of time in that new center as a team, but there's going to be opportunities for them to slowly sort of start to experience the high school as well, which I think will help with our transitions, definitely. So Vicki had mentioned earlier, we have a facilities advisory committee, and the renovation of the 9th grade center is kind of the last step of that 10-year plan for facilities advisory, and we've got some probably exciting news to share as we move forward and Take 5 for Prairie. Really, I think one of the things we've talked about is really quality of life sort of things for students, so new program spaces and opportunities for students now that we have the room for our students to actually have class, right?
Yes,
and so, however, recently we did reauthorize, or our voters did reauthorize the physical plant and equipment levy, and so that provides a lot of maintenance. So, Angie, I don't know if you would talk about, Prairie Ridge specifically. Prairie Ridge is 20 years old this year, which is just so hard to imagine because it seems like such a new school. But that's one example of an area where we're going to utilize those funds to update our spaces. So can you talk through some of the processes we're going through there?
Yeah, so now that we have, like you said, we went through the master planning, we've renovated all done all our major renovations. With Prairie Ridge, we're looking at just coming in and refreshing it. Again, it has good structure. A lot of the things are more current than some of our other buildings, but we're going to look at a new color of paint and refreshing the carpet. We're also looking at adding a secure entrance there. We have 3 elementaries left that don't have a secure entrance, so we're looking at adding those for our students this summer.
Yeah, a lot of safety focus, and also, like I said, quality of life and safety is so important to students. So thank you for joining me today. We only have 5 minutes, but I think we packed a
perfect.
lot into
Yeah,
that
we
5
sure
minutes.
did.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Take 5 for Prairie.